Listen, I need to tell you something that absolutely terrified me 3 weeks ago, and I guarantee it's going to shock you too. I discovered that 7 things I was doing every single night before bed were literally destroying my prostate. And here's the scary part. My doctor told me that 90% of men are doing at least 4 of these things tonight, right now, with absolutely no idea of the damage they're causing themselves. Look, I thought I was one of the health-conscious guys. I go to bed early, I drink water, I read a little. What could possibly be wrong with that? But when my doctor showed me my test results and explained the connection to my evening habits, I was honestly paralyzed. I was doing everything I thought was right, but I was actually creating the perfect conditions for prostate inflammation and long-term damage. And you know what makes me furious? Nobody ever told me this. Not previous doctors, not the health articles I'd read, nothing. It's like there's this hidden secret that every man over 30 should know. But instead, we keep making these devastating mistakes night after night. The worst part? I bet you're doing at least 3 of these things right now, and you have no clue that you're setting yourself up for prostate problems that could completely change your life. But here's why I'm actually excited to share this with you. Once you know what these 7 habits are, the fixes are surprisingly simple, and the difference in how you'll feel is absolutely incredible. I need to tell you something that's honestly kept me up at night, and I'm pretty sure it's going to shock you too. Last month, my doctor told me something that made my blood run cold. Apparently 7 things I was doing every single night before bed were slowly destroying my prostate. And here's the kicker. I bet you're doing at least 3 of them right now. Look, I'm not some health guru or anything. I'm just a regular guy who thought he was doing everything right. I mean, I brush my teeth, I read a little, I go to bed at a decent hour. What could be wrong with that? But apparently I was unknowingly setting myself up for prostate problems that could have ruined my life. And the worst part? Most guys have no clue this is happening to them. So here's what happened. I went in for my annual checkup. You know, the one we all dread but force ourselves to do anyway. Everything seemed fine until my doctor started asking about my nighttime routine. At first I thought he was just making small talk, but then his expression got serious. He started explaining how certain bedtime habits create this perfect storm of inflammation and hormonal disruption that targets the prostate specifically. The first thing that hit me was this: drinking water right before bed. I know, everyone tells you to stay hydrated, right? But here's what nobody mentions. When you chug water before sleep, your bladder fills up and puts direct pressure on your prostate all night long. It's like having someone squeeze a stress ball for 8 hours straight. Your prostate is already dealing with natural nighttime inflammation, and now you're adding mechanical pressure on top of it. I was literally doing this every single night thinking I was being healthy. But that's not even the worst one. The second habit that's silently damaging your prostate is eating late at night, especially anything with sugar or refined carbs. And I'm not talking about having a full dinner late. I'm talking about that snack you grab while watching TV, or that piece of chocolate before bed. When you eat late, your insulin spikes right when your body should be winding down. This throws off your testosterone production and creates inflammation throughout your entire system, but your prostate gets hit the hardest because it's so sensitive to hormonal changes. Here's where it gets really scary. Habit number 3 is something almost every guy does without thinking about it: using your phone or watching TV in bed. The blue light from screens doesn't just mess with your sleep, it actually disrupts your melatonin production, and melatonin is one of your prostate's main protective hormones. Without enough melatonin, your prostate becomes vulnerable to oxidative stress all night long. I used to scroll through my phone for at least 30 minutes every night thinking I was just unwinding. Turns out I was basically turning off my prostate's natural defense system. The 4th habit shocked me because it seems so innocent: sleeping in a room that's too warm. When your body temperature stays elevated at night, it can't properly regulate the hormones that protect your prostate. Your testosterone conversion gets all messed up, and you start producing more of the harmful byproducts that cause prostate enlargement and inflammation. I always thought being warm and cozy was good for sleep, but apparently, your prostate needs that cool down period to function properly. Number 5 is going to make you mad because it's something they actually recommend for other health reasons: taking certain supplements right before bed. Specifically, calcium and iron supplements can create mineral imbalances that affect prostate health when taken at night. Your body processes these minerals differently during sleep, and they can interfere with zinc absorption, which is absolutely critical for prostate function. I was taking a multivitamin right before bed thinking I was being responsible about my health. The 6th habit is something I never would have connected to prostate health: sleeping on your stomach. When you sleep face down, you're putting constant pressure on your pelvic area for hours. This reduces blood flow to the prostate and can contribute to inflammation and congestion. It's like cutting off circulation to any other part of your body. Eventually, things start to go wrong. And the seventh habit that really got me was this: not emptying your bladder completely before bed. Most guys just take a quick bathroom break and call it good, but if you're not taking the time to fully empty your bladder, you're leaving residual urine that can back up and put pressure on the prostate throughout the night. Now here's what really frustrated me. I'd been doing most of these things for years and nobody ever warned me. Not my previous doctors, not any health articles I'd read, nothing. And when I started digging deeper, I realized why. Most prostate advice focuses on what to do when you already have problems, not how to prevent them in the first place. But here's the thing that gives me hope, and why I'm so excited to share this with you. Once I understood what was happening, the fixes were actually pretty simple. I didn't need expensive treatments or complicated protocols. I just needed to make some specific changes to my nighttime routine. The difference in how I feel now is honestly incredible. I sleep through the night without waking up to use the bathroom. I have more energy during the day. And that nagging worry in the back of my mind about prostate problems, it's gone. My follow-up test showed real improvement, and my doctor was genuinely impressed with how quickly things turned around. Look, I'm not saying this is going to solve every prostate issue out there. But if you're doing any of these 7 things, and honestly most guys are doing at least a few of them, then you're setting yourself up for problems you could easily avoid. The crazy part is how simple the solutions are once you know what you're dealing with. You don't need to overhaul your entire life or spend a fortune on treatments. You just need to be smart about your bedtime routine.